Hello! I think I'm live, but then again, most of us think that. I'm not sure if you can already see and hear me, so please let me know. In case you don't, I will start saying stuff that doesn't actually matter, like for example, this is an interactive writing stream, which means we have gathered here today to write a story together. The story is the one you can see right over there. You obviously can't see all of it, but you can see a part of it. You can see all of it, or mostly all of, you know how sorry, you know how these things go. Here in the link in the description. In the description, there's also another link that points to a Discord server, and in that Discord server, that's where the interaction is, where you can chat to the other participants, where you can tell me you don't like my hair, or you think my accent is funny, or maybe you want to use that unique chance to interact with the author of this wonderful work of fiction we are building together as a community to no less make a better world, because that is what our protagonists plan to do, and the rest is up to us. Isn't that marvelous? It's almost like it is in the real world. That means it will be fun, right? So let's get started. Last time we were trying to deal with the conundrum that we have built for ourselves, having constructed this situation, and that's mostly on me, I'm afraid, where the Magi, especially one of them, because they are our focus protagonist right now, and our other focus protagonist, who is actually the only point of view character we have used so far, Munira, trying to improve a nursing home. Which is, of course, well, I'm not going to say it all again, we've talked about it at length, but I never know if maybe there's one person who joined the live stream just today and is watching on YouTube for the first time, and now thinks, okay, so there are these two abled people who are now trying to save all those poor inhabitants, and oh yeah, that can't go wrong. There's definitely nothing wrong with that setup. And yeah, we know. Not sure if that makes it better, but we know, and we're trying to address that issue. Yeah. Or those issues, probably. So yeah. We were about, to have a little conversation that leads up to Sam and Munira probably being shown to the leadership of said nursing home. But again, this is an interactive story, so if you feel like it, you can lobby for another outcome. I said it's interactive, and I said you can influence it in the chat, and that's true. And sometimes I even make little more or less formal votes where you can vote between different options, and I usually keep to them, especially since those votes are set up by me, so I can pick the options. But of course, I always reserve a right to veto. So if the chat is unanimously of the opinion that right now something must happen which just doesn't fit my vision of the story, I'm not going to pick a colorful example, because I think that can only go wrong. But I might not do it. You can make your own live stream if you want. That's the beauty. And feel free to use parts of my story. It's fine. You don't even have to credit me. So, but I would be curious, so I'd be very grateful if you let me know. Anyway, even if you're doing something horrible, I might not officially acknowledge that I'm curious and that I have watched it, but I will. All right. Now, what will we do? First thing we'll do is, of course, something very silly, because this is my live stream still. Trying to use the mic here. Let's see if that works. I was a bit confused when I started my dictation software, because it started up anew. It built a new profile for me. And I'm quite sure I've used it in English in this very writing stream even, so I might be able to look back at other videos and I've used it, but it pretended, maybe it didn't recognize the microphone USB port or something like that and thought it was a new microphone. That's possible. All right. Open quote. Come on now, yeah, it's just slow. It's very slow, but we'll manage. Or maybe did I pick the wrong microphone? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. All right, let's start now. Now for real. Or are those 5 question mark? Close quote. Sam's brow furrowed. As they started counting on their fingers, open quote. Would you count the contraction as 1 or 2 words, question mark? Close quote. They asked, comma, turning towards Munira. I know I made some mistakes there. Those are not even Dragon's mistakes, those are mostly mine. This one, for example, I said it exactly like that, so Dragon is not to blame. That's Dragon's mistake, I think. I articulated that beautifully. Maybe like this. I don't even know what you're talking about. Close quote. Munira murmured. Full stop. Open quote. Do I need to call security? Question mark. Close quote. The receptionist asked. What do you call that? Sam looked at the receptionist as if in honest surprise and confusion and responded, colon, open quote. I don't think so. Semicolon. If I remember correctly, you just said they are called and those are the names we decided upon last time. Call them, comma, please. Full stop. Close quote. This is the difficult time again, because now we have had all the fun I can offer in this live stream. Yep, that's it. If you didn't like that, turn it off. Leave, because nothing better is coming. This is it. This is what I can do for you. That's all. Yeah, but now difficult times are ahead, because now we need to make a decision on what to do with my hair. Do I leave it open, or shall I make that little ponytail thing that you all know and love. I think I shall make a vote. Wait, here, do you prefer my hair open or closed? Question mark. And I'll just do, wait, I'll give you the emoji like usual. There's an open hair. Which is the emoji for open hair? I'm gonna use a flamingo because I think I've never used one and I think it's new. They haven't had a flamingo emoji for a very long time, I'm quite sure. And the closed hair, I know you don't say it like that, yeah. Is here, why not? It's a safety pin. We've used that for the other live stream recently. You don't want to know why. You really don't. Don't ask. Don't watch either. It's not recommended. Here's the flamingo, and here's the... I've read on Tumblr recently that flamingos are extremophiles, and I'm not sure if it's true in any way, and I'm not sure how serious those people were who were talking about it. They seem to know a bit, but maybe they just pretended. I'll need to look that up. And I know they are not extremophiles in the really narrow sense, but for example, the author of the post said they can drink boiling water. And do. And I haven't checked that. It might be true. Don't go around telling it to other people saying you got it from me though, please. I don't know. I don't know about flamingos. I just read it on Tumblr, so you know. Gekrimmel says, I prefer open, but as I really can't stand having my hair open when I have long hair, I don't feel I can impose it on anyone. Yeah, well, I just asked a simple question. There's no imposition there, but apparently there's a unanimous vote for open, so that's easy. Still, what I need to do is I need to get some tea, because you know this live stream doesn't work without tea. And maybe, well, it won't take long because I've already prepared it. I just need to go and get the pot. So, what you might do while I'm gone, you might think about how you want this scene to continue, because, of course, this was just some quirky expression of my erratic personality that I just did the thing with my hair. What I actually meant to say was, we now have to decide how Sam deals with this obstacle. Obviously, Sam could just try to be charming and nice and convince the receptionist that it's actually a good thing to let them talk to the leadership of that nursing home, which is a tad difficult because, first off, they have already antagonized them by being so authoritative. Secondly, I don't know if you've ever been to any sort of medical facility. So even if you're really nice, you can't just waltz in there and say, I need to talk to both persons who manage this house right now, please. And they do it. You can't be that charming, I think. Maybe if you're the, what do you call, the prime minister of that country or something like that. Maybe. But probably one of them is sick at any given time, so it's not even possible if they want. So yeah, but maybe they are just having a meeting anyway, because they're both healthy and they want to use that opportunity. They haven't seen each other in years or something like that. Maybe I'm projecting my own experience with nursing homes right here, but don't take it too seriously. But still, maybe they are just having a meeting and are in the same room anyway. Maybe there are other people. Sam doesn't mind if there are other people. And they can... For one, the receptionist will just tell them, well, they are up in that room, you can go and see if they want to talk to you. I'm not in charge of defending this house, I'm just the receptionist or something like that. That would be a possibility. Or Sam could just snap a finger and magically know where they are and go to meet them. Or, of course, we could enact some sort of more or less subtle violence. That's always a possibility. I think it would be a bit problematic because this receptionist, well, first off, they're definitely at a disadvantage. They have no magic. They're disabled persons. So for Sam to use real violence against them to impress them or to cow them or even to force them to do what Sam wants, that would be difficult to do right. What maybe we could do is, I don't know, have some sort of not real violence, like Sam maybe taking over their minds. I'm not saying that's not real violence, as in that's not, but you know, it's not as harsh as maybe just, I don't know, calling a demon from hell and saying, I'm going to have him eat you if you don't. Well, I don't know. You can decide on your own what you think is worse, but both are bad in a way. Or Sam could just, I don't know, pick up a phone and use their magic. Something. You know where I'm going with this. I think I don't need to explain more for you to be able to deliberate a bit. So do that, and I'll be back in probably less than a minute, because as I said, I just need to pick up the pot. So just give me that minute and think about it. And if you have an opinion on it, then let me know. And if you don't, then we'll find a solution. See you. I won't. I lied. There, I'm back. That was less than a minute, wasn't it? And I still don't see you. Much less says Gekrimbel. Thank you. Right. Seems the people in the chat don't have a lot of opinion today, so that makes it at the same time easier and harder for me, I guess. But I can deal with it, because you might not know this, but I have written a story before. Sometimes even without an audience. So I'm able to do this. So I think, well, somebody is typing in the chat, so I'm going to drink another cup of tea. And see if it influences my decision, because I don't want to start now and maybe type over your thoughts. Yeah, Epiphany, I like the idea of using magic on the receptionist in a non-violent way. Okay, yeah, that's good, because I think the more I consider it, the less it seems right. Because we have made a receptionist where it would be quite obviously bullying to use violence against them. Because for one thing, the receptionist is obviously not a mean person. It seems so far. I'm not saying you can tell if they're a mean person by those 5 minutes of official public interaction, but you know what I mean. Epiphany, thank you. But do you have any more specific ideas? Like, which idea do you mean? Do you mean like? I hesitate to say take them over, because there are different levels of that. Like I think the one extreme would be Sam could, and I think that violence is a difficult word, because I think on the surface and in many people's public perception, it's hurting someone physically. But I think we all are aware that the conversation has gone far beyond that, and violence, there are lots of types of violence, and there's psychological violence and all that. So I don't know, like, let's take that extreme. Sam using the receptionist's body like a puppet, really just taking over, moving their arms and legs and all that. That would obviously be some sort of violence, even if it doesn't cause pain physically. And I think that there's a difference. There are different kinds of violence, and we are not having that conversation right now in this stream, because we only have 1 hour, and I would like us to write something. Maybe make them go to sleep, although we used that in the beginning of the story. Yeah, that's a nice idea, but I think it's, again, I would indeed try to do something else here. We could have some sort of compromise, or what we could do is maybe Sam using magic in a way that doesn't actually act upon the receptionist, but still makes it impossible for the receptionist to stop them. Like, for example, Sam could just use magic to communicate directly with what did we call them, with management, with the leadership of the house, and like find out where they are, go to them, call them, or something like that. Or, not sure, this is probably the sort of thing that wouldn't work in a real situation, but we might we might get through with it in fiction. Like Sam just does something irritating, unusual, that might feel like the sort of situation where you want to call the boss to have a look at it. Like, I don't know, they cause an illusory water damage. And that makes the receptionist go take up the phone and tell the leadership, you know, there's a person down here who makes a real fuss and wants to talk to you. Do you want to come down, or do you want us to call the police? And then the two people go, no, well, we will talk to them first, and then we'll see. The last time we called the police, that ended in a disaster. Let's not do that again. Or something like that, maybe. That would be something we could do. Or, of course, different combinations of all that sort of thing. I don't know, maybe Sam could call the manager and use the receptionist's voice. Like, you know, like the Terminator in Terminator 2. What's wrong with Woofy? Woofy is fine. Your parents are dead. Something like that. Sam wouldn't have to tell the receptionist their parents are dead, because they already know that. Ikrimble says, I like the last one, the one with the urgent reason to make the bosses come. The voice is also a good idea. Maybe we'll try that. You can always tell me it doesn't work, and then we'll go back and start again. Epiphany, what if Sam pretends to have a relative who needs the care of the home? Yeah, possible, but usually they wouldn't give you an audience with both. I'll now scroll back up and see how we called them. They wouldn't give you an audience with both the administrative head of facility and the nursing service head at once, without an appointment, just because you claim you have a relative whom you didn't even bring, after you behaved weirdly at the receptionist. I think they wouldn't do that. But yeah, I've thought of that, and it might have been a nice approach, especially if they just wanted, I think, at least in my experience, they usually talk to the nursing service head for that, so the person who's actually in care of patients, because here the administrative head, they usually sit in an office and go through papers and all that. They don't actually interact with the patients. Usually, of course, there are all different kinds of constellations. No issue with that. It's in all organizations. It's different. Or maybe we can use the combination, or make a, well, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a joke, but we could play a little trick on them based on their unfair respect for authority, and have Sam use the receptionist's voice to pretend there's actually, I don't know, some sort of important person, like the mayor, or maybe, why not the prime minister of the country they're in, which would be, have we decided that? Did we say we're in Berlin? Did we ever make a decision about that? And tell them that person is here and wants to talk about them taking in their father or something like that. That might work. That will bring them both down. And it's an urgent reason, so technically it would be compliant with what we will ask to, even if it's maybe not as fun as water damage or a fire-spitting demon in the hallway or something like that. I think I'm still not sure, you know, how to precisely deal with Sam's magic, because we can, of course, do sort of an escalation, or we can have a real firework right now in the beginning to show off what Sam is capable of, and then never have them do anything again. Just leave that as a potential threat in the background or something. Or we can leave it very subtle. You know, I have a special place in my heart for those stories where there's magic, but it's never really obvious. Of course, we kind of passed that point when Sam put all those people to sleep and made that demonstration with the time dilation and all that. So we can't do precisely that in our story here, except if we go back and change it, which I would be hesitant to do because I like the original short story. Epiphany, you mentioned wanting to have Berlin as the location, but I don't think we've written that into the story. But we can do it. I'll go ahead and try this now, just to do something, because I think I've talked into the microphone long enough. What would be a good word? What is a derisive word for talking in English? Like in German, we have labern. And I'm not even sure what you would call that. How would you translate that? Babble. Yeah, right. I've babbled, prattled. Yeah. That's it. I've prattled on for long enough. Let's go ahead and do something. Open quote. I won't just call them both just because a weird, impolite person orders me to do it, full stop. You can give a reasonable excuse for being here right now, comma, you can leave, or I'll call security, full stop. Close quote, new line. Sam giggled and made a weird gesture with two fingers in front of their mouth. Full stop, new line, open quote. Spicy exclamation mark. I like that, full stop. And you're right, comma, you're your own person, comma, you're nobody's servant, comma, you don't have to do anything for me. Full stop. More power to you, exclamation mark. Close quote. Yeah, all the dictation softwares have that difficulty with punctuation. I don't know why. Sam made another gesture, which Munira couldn't quite see. Follow. And then extended their left hand's thumb and index finger, comma, holding them to their mouth and left ear respectively, as if mimicking a telephone. Full stop, new line, open quote, open quote. What are they doing? Question mark, close quote, the receptionist whispered at Munira. Munira just shrugged. And made a face that hopefully conveyed basically the same message. her mouth dropped open a bit more when she actually heard, comma, very quietly, comma, that what's it called? I need to look up a word. I think I'm gonna call it that muffled. Do you call it a toot sound? The sonad. Do you know that sonad that telephones make? Telephone lines produced. Full stop, judging by the receptionist's expression, comma, they heard it, comma, too. Do I? They heard it, yeah. Well, I mean, we all need a hobby. Some people crochet, some people solve jigsaw puzzles, some like Sudoku when there's nothing to do at work, and some people herd. Why not? I mean, all those people who crochet, they need the wool. What would they do without those people who herd? I heard myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the sheep, the only thing that's real. So, yeah, right. Let's correct that. They heard it too. Always, if you think I'm being too silly, let me know. We can talk about that. We can get you out of that down frame of mind and onto my level. Yeah. Then there was a crack and a voice. All right, I was about to look up. I think we didn't give the receptionist pronouns yet, so I'm right about the they, right? Or did we talk about that in the beginning? That's before they entered, right? Yeah. Hello, the person. There we go. They don't introduce themselves or anything, do they? No. No. We haven't done that. So we're still good with the neutral pronoun. In the exact voice of the receptionist. Yes, hello, comma, sorry to disturb you, comma, but Sam put their right hand over the extended fingers of their left hand. As if to block the sound going through them, and turned and lowered a bit towards Munira, comma, whispering to her, colon, open quote. See, we're actually doing the Terminator scene. I always wanted that. This is a dream come true. Now, I think we'll just settle with Berlin because it's poor but sexy. That's Berlin's slogan. If you don't, I'm not sure if it's ever been the official slogan, but it's what everybody says, and it's become even more ironic than ever because right now it's governed by CDU, which is basically our Republicans. If you're in a United States frame of mind, or our what are they called in Great Britain? The Tories, right? The Conservatives. What do they call it? What's their official name? Are they just the Conservatives, or what are they? Conservatives, right? Yeah, they're the Conservative Party. Although, let's be honest here, every party is. Yeah. But they're the official Conservative Party. It's like the CDU is the original, and all the other ones are just trying to emulate them and be like them. Yeah, and I think the mayor is called Wegner. Let's look that up.
Said it. Poor but sexy.
He said it, but it's not like on
the official slogan.
Yeah,
but
no.
The mayor said
Yeah,
it.
and the current mayor of all of Berlin is Kai Wegner. Epiphany also knows. Yeah, a former Berlin mayor coined the poor but sexy, but I've forgotten his name. Yeah, he was Wobereit. Wobereit. I imagine that name is quite difficult to remember if you're not a German native speaker.
Even if you are.
Well, I think it kind of has a ring to it, don't you know? Wobereit?
Say it again.
Yeah. Of course, we could go a level lower, but what I think is, and still, let's go up. It's a little bit. I'm not sure if it borders on unbelievable, but I think it's silly and I like it. So let's have them say, who's the ruler of this land? Question mark. Or do we have? Come on. Let's go all in. Let's say realm. Munira felt her eyes go even wider and responded with a weird, kind of numb feeling, colon, open quote. Do you mean the whole thing, like, the Chancellor? Or can we go with a mayor or something, question mark? Why do you ask, question mark? Oh yeah, Maya is, yeah, that's a name you can't go wrong with in Germany, it's true, but what I actually was trying to say is mayor. Just someone who is important enough to bring them down here, comma, I don't care about the specifics of protocol. So now, I think, how I imagine Munira, it might be like more reasonable to go with I don't even know what you call them in English, like the local mayor. There's a mayor for all of Berlin, but there are also mayors for the different townships or the quarters of the city. And I don't know, Charlottenburg has its own mayor. But I think Munira wouldn't know them. Because children or pupils that age, they don't know that kind of stuff. They don't care, they don't want to know, except if they are the kind of weird children who are members of political parties and youth organizations and something like that. And we don't talk about them.
Oh.
We pretend, we just try to forget they exist.
Yes.
Maybe she doesn't even know Wegener, but I think you would know, especially if you're, especially if you're living in Berlin and in danger of being deported. I think you would know that Wegener has been elected. Yeah. Kai Wegener responded. Not bothering to hide the unpleasant taste the name left in her mouth, full stop. Because in this live stream we don't leave opportunities like that untouched. If you can insult a conservative or any, well, is there any other kind? If there's a chance to insult a politician, we use it. Probably that is still too kind, but I don't want to go out of our way for it because the story has a nice flow right now, I think. Sam nodded, comma, lowered the right hand and put the left to their face again. Full stop, new line, open quote. You won't believe this, comma, Kai Wegener is standing here. I think there's only 2 E's in his name. Indeed, yeah. In case you want to know, I'll give you a photo in the chat so you know who we're talking about. This is the guy who's not there. Kai Wegener. Feel free to hate him as much as you like. Maybe a bit more. I mean, this is not just about us. Even his tie is kind of crooked, isn't it? Asking for you. Now we need a reaction shot of the receptionist, I'm afraid. And I think we can get through with them being so stunned that they can't do anything. We don't need to enforce it. We don't need Sam to enforce it, I think. We can get away with it. That's what I knew there was something wrong with the way I said it. I just couldn't. Yeah, we can get away with the receptionist being so stunned that they don't do anything. The receptionist watched all this with a look like they would have just keeled over if they weren't sitting down. Comma, their eyes and mouth wide open, comma, lips slowly but helplessly moving, comma, no sound coming out. Full stop. Sam briefly listened to the voice coming from the phone, comma, then said, colon, open quote, yes, yes, comma, right away, both of you, comma. We need the other name because I already forgot that again. Lara too. They seem quite... He seems quite agitated, and he brought armed guards, full stop. The voice responded something, comma, Sam nodded, comma, said, great, comma, thank you, exclamation mark, close quote. Lowered their left hand, comma, opened it all the way and started shaking out the fingers. Full stop. How? What? Ooh. Don't worry about it. Comma, close quote, Sam told the receptionist, making an airy wave in their direction. Full stop. Forgot the comma there. I'll explain this wasn't actually you. Calling her by her first name, full stop. You probably don't do that usually, comma, right? Question mark? Sorry, comma, forgot, full stop. Close quote. You might want to change responded something. Oh yeah, right. But inaudible. But inaudible is the, if you don't... I'm not quite sure. What does inaudible actually mean? It can mean that you hear it, but you don't understand it. Can't it? What does unverständlich? Unintelligible, of course, yeah. Incomprehensible is definitely not the word we're looking for here. Maybe unintelligible, opaque, unfathomable, abstruse. Well, I know inaudible means it can't be heard, yeah, right, but still, I think it's sometimes, isn't it sometimes used in the way of it can be heard, but just not understood? No, it's not? Okay, then we won't. I didn't want to do it anyway. Just thinking aloud, just wondering. I think I'm gonna go with simply unable to be heard, I think. All right, let's go with something inaudible, unintelligible. Let's maybe go with that. Sam waited for the response. Maybe like that. I think we can do it like that. Who is that? Question mark. Close quote, the receptionist asked Munira, comma, looking around the hallway with wide eyes. Full stop, open quote. Is this some kind of TV show? Question mark. Am I on camera? Question mark. I'm not sure I consent to this. Full stop. You need my consent to air this, comma, don't you? Question mark. I want to see the footage first. Am I on camera? I'm not sure I consent to this. You need my... Don't you? I want to see the footage first. Yeah. Or maybe watch. I should mention that now, again, speaking in the usual voice. We should make that clear, I think. Because it also helps emphasize and remind the readers that before they were using another voice. That's always a tad difficult in writing fiction, to me at least, because I don't want to annoy the readers by emphasizing in every word and every sentence how it sounds, but I also think it's easy to forget stuff like that in longer dialogue. It's a similar thing with accents and dialect and something like that, because you can get annoying very quickly if you try to type it into the letters, but then again, if you don't, it's not there. So what do we do now? What do we do next? Gekrimble says, I think occasionally reminding is a good way. Yeah, so do I. You need to remind people of stuff they tend to forget, because it's important that certain things are present in people's minds. And heads and all that. Yeah. Back to our story. M says, thumbs up. So now, Munira just gave that helpless shrug again, while Sam said, colon, open quote, no worries, exclamation mark. That would be a good name for some sort of TV host, don't you think? Exclamation mark. Nobody is going to see this. And also, comma, if you care to know, comma, I think you handled yourself quite admirably. Full stop. It's actually unfortunate, comma, that there's no camera. Comma, I think you'd be proud. Full stop. They quickly turned to Munira and whispered, colon, open quote, too much, question mark, close quote. Munira made a little gesture with thumb and index finger very close to each other. Is that clear, or do I need... Gestures are always difficult. I think I like gestures. I think it's important to have them. I think we should use them, but I always doubt if they're clear enough. But then again, same thing or similar thing to what I just talked about. If you explain it in too much detail, it gets annoying. I think I'll leave it at that. I think that's clear, right? Sam turned back to the receptionist with a wide grin. Correct, green. It doesn't quite work, but the rest worked fine, so I won't complain. And winked at them. And I think that's our show for today. Thank you, that was nice. I hope it wasn't too disappointing for you that we didn't have any actual story polls, because the only poll I did was about my hair, but I mean, first things first, right? Thank you for participating. Thank you for listening and watching. Thank you for giving your feedback in the chat. I'm always glad to have you, and I'm always glad to write our little story with you. I hope you liked it, and I hope you still enjoy the story. And I hope you'll be back next time when we once again write stuff. So, have a nice day, or evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Don't forget to push all those very important social media buttons to show your support for this very important show and tell the algorithm what's what. Don't forget to come back, and don't forget to tell everybody about this marvelous show. Thanks, and oh, by the way, if you're against hitting baby sea otters in the face with a closed fist, maybe leave a comment below the video to let me know, so I can take that into account when planning for the next one. Thank you, goodbye, and have a nice day. The comments are very important for the algorithm, so don't forget. See you!